Hi there, I'm Rich. Today I want to show you an amazing MIT-inspired design that over 7,000 homeowners today across the country are using to cut their overpriced power bills while keeping their lights on at all times. It all started back in 2012 when MIT came up with something that could have and maybe even should have revolutionized the solar power industry, making solar electricity available for each and every one of us, dropping the price per kilowatt hour by up to 10 times, making themselves 100% efficient so you can get the power out of the same base surface. The original MIT design has literally been forgotten for almost 7 years for unknown reasons. As you already know, energy bills keep going up all the time. Yeah, it's easy to think that's accidental or it's just inflation, or maybe it's supply and demand. All the excuses they normally give us. But I'm just not so sure. With all the technology that exists in Silicon Valley, why isn't some of it going to making our power bills more affordable? I'll tell you why. Because the Silicon Valley fat cats are working in cahoots with the power companies. Let me ask you this. Why are those same Silicon Valley fat cats using solar energy for their own power, saving themselves money, but not spreading those secrets around to you and I? Oh, they're solar power. But it's owned by the same power companies that are already charging us an arm and a leg. So they charge us an arm and a leg for the solar power while receiving handouts for the government to build solar power plants. If we knew the things that they are doing and how to do them for ourselves, it could save us up to 60% a month, every single month, making our power bills affordable. But of course, if they did that, they couldn't keep padding their pockets with our money. Between the money-hungry power companies who have us over a barrel and government regulations that jack up the prices higher and higher, it's getting harder and harder to pay for even our basic energy needs. Remember the February freeze? Yeah, well, we pay a small fortune for electrical power and can't even count on it when we need it the most. We need a game changer. We need some sort of technology that is going to save our bank accounts while ensuring that we have power available to us all the time. With a little bit of luck, I ran across a guy named Brian. He's an amazing guy with a spin-off built on the original game changer from MIT. He calls this thing the solar switch, virtually an endless, self-sustained power source, a switch for tapping into the sunlight that's beating down on us all the time and giving us unlimited electrical power. So let me show you how well this works. So I've taken my solar switch and connected it through a solar charge controller to a battery. And then I've got a power inverter here so I can pull the power off and make use of it. But still, it's the switch that's providing all the power. All I'm doing is storing it here. So we plug that in, bingo, we've got lights. But lights are easy. Lights don't draw a lot of power, especially these modern lights we've got these days. How about something a little more beefy? Here's a hammer drill. And plug that in and runs the hammer drill just fine. Let's go a little more. Here's a circular saw. That's drawing about 12 amps of power. By the way, 12 amps is a lot more than your fridge is going to draw. I can plug that in and bingo. Now I've got enough power here that last year during the freeze, I was able to power my refrigerator and some lights in my house, all while everyone else was basically in the dark. And it's all coming power from the sun that we're capturing by the efficient use of solar panels. The system is basically a 6-foot tall solar panel array that can be placed anywhere. I've got it in my backyard right now. It's highly versatile and highly portable. It can cut your power bill while serving as a much-needed backup generator for emergency situations. Mine was a real blessing this past winter. Remember the February freeze? My neighbors were out of power, but I had power. I was able to power my fridge, some lights, even use my computer. And best of all, this design works with no gasoline, no smoke, no noise to bother the neighbors, and none of the other hassles that come from a traditional gasoline generator. It's cheap, easy to build, and easy to use. It's simply amazing. Over 7,000 homeowners across the U.S. alone are enjoying the benefits that come with this cool device. And the best thing is that you can have your own solar switch system up and operating, say, by the end of the day. So you too will be able to shave money off those ever-lingering electric bills, whether you hook it to the house, power shed, or do like I do and use it for power in your garage. This thing will save you cash and keep you and your family safe just by being around. You'll learn the exact secrets about how to set up solar panels so that they deliver up to 10 times the output of most of those traditional systems put up on the roof, while taking up just 5% of the space, and it's really at a fraction of the cost. So please stick with me for the next 5 minutes, and my friend Brian's going to come and let you in on all the hushed up details about how this money-saving marvel and how it all began. And how getting shot, literally getting shot, during a blackout robbery drove him to adapt these amazing designs and make them work, tapping into an unlimited supply of electricity with just 10 square feet of solar panels in his own backyard.
Hi, my name's Brian Kay. I'm a 48-year-old woodworker from Tulsa, happily married for 14 years, raising our beautiful daughter named Annie. And this is my story. A story about a dreadful November night that almost cost my family and me our lives. I woke up in a cold sweat. My wife was crushing my hand in fear, staring in the dark. The power was out. Pitch black. I couldn't see anything. It took me a couple of seconds to make any sense of what was going on. Then I briefly glanced outside the window and realized the power was out in the entire neighborhood. And a shiver went down my spine. I could hear someone walking in the hallway. My first thought was, it has to be our daughter Annie. But these footsteps didn't sound like a 5-year-old's. The oak floor only squeaked when I walked on it, so whoever it was, it had to be bigger. Then it hit me. Someone was in our house. We were being robbed. I reached for the nightstand and grabbed my gun. I could hear him walking toward Annie's room. I slowly opened the door and saw him standing over Annie's bed. His gun shined in the moonlight, only 5 inches from my daughter's head. I felt my blood rushing through my veins like a raging bull. I couldn't think straight. I was ready to die to protect my daughter. Then I only heard a bang and saw a flash. He fired the first shot. It felt cold, metallic even, but at the same time, lucky. Because he didn't shoot her. He shot me. And then it all went dark. The last thing I remember was his stench brushing up on me as he ran away. I woke up crying after 2 weeks in a coma, and thank God my family was there. They were both safe and unharmed, praying for me to wake up. I can honestly say I'd never been so thankful and happy in my life, being able to hug them and tell them how much I love them. Being alive. My doctor told me it was a miracle I recovered after all the blood I'd lost. I was clinically dead when they brought me to the ER. My wife never said anything, but I knew it. It was my fault. I felt it in the back of my mind that this might happen. A gut feeling ever since Annie was born. Be prepared, Brian. Be prepared. And I'd done nothing. I thought this couldn't happen to me, not in our neighborhood. It's the kind of stuff I'd expect to see in movies, but not in my own house. I had put myself and my family in danger because I thought the system, the grid, and the government would be there to protect me. I'd never experienced power blackouts or home invasions. But unfortunately, there is a silver lining to this story. Because little did I know, this shocking and painful event that left me near dead led to the discovery of a lifetime. My life-changing story happened just 2 years ago, and it's a story that changed not only our lives, but also that of 7,231 hardworking Americans, all previously exposed to the unreliability of our government's disaster response time and the ever-aging and ever-failing power grid. That's over 3,000 families that are now safe, living a better life, saving their hard-earned cash each and every day, week after week, month after month, and year after year. Now, before we go any further, let this sink in. I got robbed, yes, but I'm not the only one getting robbed. You're getting robbed too. Just not at gunpoint. But you might as well be, because that's exactly what our beloved government and big energy monopolists are doing. They're selling you overpriced electricity, and they're ripping you off each and every year. How are they doing it? Well, that's the easy part. Myths and legends. All that the media is raving about are the mind-blowing extreme price tags and the unreliability of alternative power sources. And that, my friend, is a big fat lie conceived by the greedy executives to keep us trapped, filling their dirty pockets with our blood, sweat, and tears each and every month. But not anymore. Because it's time you learn the truth. Solar energy is not expensive. Done the right way, you'll have it up and running for mere pennies, never at the 20K price tags that you hear about on TV, and you can see the savings piling up overnight. You might be going all the way up to 65% off your power bill from the very first month. So stick with me for the next few minutes, and you'll find out everything you need to know about this MIT-inspired marvel. Why it's been kept under the rug for the past 9 years, how I found out about it, and how you can use it too, keeping that hard-earned cash in your pocket. Just talking about it is still a hair-raising experience for me, because I will never forget that feeling of waking up from the coma, happiness and relief mixed with mad anger. I was angry at the thief that broke into our home, angrier at the power grid for being unreliable, and most of all, I was angry at myself for being unprepared. An all-out blackout is like a purge night for criminals looming in the dark, and during those nights, sometimes the light is more powerful than the gun. I have my scar to prove just that. This never would have happened if I had my lights on. A simple porch light could have kept that criminal away. One single light bulb could have made the difference between life and death that night. So even though I was still shaken up, the very next day I started searching frantically for the best way to have just that. My lights on at any time, no matter what, brought the already crippled grid to its knees. My first thought was doing it the old-fashioned way. But traditional backup generators are loud, they're unreliable, and they need gas to run. They're more likely to attract criminals with their buzz, like a call for ghouls in the nights, than to chase them away. It had to be something silent, something that doesn't need a refill every hour, something that would work around the clock. There had to be a way to have the power on at all times, and every question I was asking in my wild search led to one single answer. Solar. Solar power works by supplying and storing sun energy during the day in battery banks so you can use it during the night too. A truly silent 24-hour backup generator. But how? How could I go solar when all I had was spare change? And how could I even think of doing that in my 500-square-foot backyard? Of course, if you have $20,000 lying around, it's easy. You hire a private contractor and you burn the $20K in one single wire transfer. Heck, you could just send it directly to your power company as a down payment for a few years' worth of power bills. It would just end up in their pockets anyway. They're the ones controlling the business after all. Everybody can go solar at that price, but is it really worth it? How long do the batteries last? Not to mention maintenance, snow, and all the space they take. Or even worse, putting your health and safety at risk by hanging them on the house and climbing up there to clean them. It's a nightmare when winter comes, high winds, or when a sudden hailstorm hits. I couldn't have that. I had to find a way around it. So I went off the grid, off the radar, so to speak, while doing my research, trying to think outside the box. I spent every penny I had on tests. I spent countless hours and days and weeks in the state library, to the point where it started to affect my marriage. Some people started to believe I was working there. I even talked to my crazy conspiracy theorist brother-in-law, Rick, which everyone thought was a waste of time, and all that learning about solar energy got me really excited, but also a little frustrated. It seemed that all the stuff I could find on the internet was either confusing or just downright worthless. The books I read lacked essential details or were too academic and complex, and the people I talked to were just weekend enthusiasts who couldn't help me with my goal, or a bit too weird, like Rick. After 4 months, I'd managed to get the price down, a lot, but still the sheer surface of a reliable system was just too much for my tiny backyard. Then, out of the blue, I get a message from Rick. He caught wind about something in his hushed-up, off-the-books community. "Come and see me, now." And indeed, he had found it. An MIT study from back in 2012. It was brilliant. A weird-looking small-scale 3D solar array that they've tested with amazing results. Instead of going for the usual side-by-side layout, this system was going upwards, stacking the panels one on top of the other. But how could the sun's rays reach the second or even the third layer of cells? Well, it was easy. They put them in a zigzag pattern, they adjust the tilt, and you still get 100% sun exposure on just 5% of the traditional system surface. The trick was in the angle. I thought to myself, how? How could they sit on this for over 9 years? But it's pretty simple if you think about it. This design would literally mean out with the old and in with the new. The whole solar panel industry as we know it, factories, tools, machines, and even every worker's training and experience would become obsolete and useless overnight. There's a lot of interest and billions of dollars worth of traditional solar panels being sold right now, so it's clear why they've kept it under the rug for so long. Now, even though it was innovative, it was still a tabletop gadget with no real everyday purpose. It had to be full scale to actually make a difference. So I thought to myself, Brian, you're a woodworker. You build things for a living. You can do this. It took me almost a year to get my design ready, but eventually I found an unbelievably easy way to do it, a spinoff from the original design that costs 4 times less than what I was hoping for. And I'd finally done it. I had the perfect layout even for my lousy small 500 square foot backyard. Actually, I got it working on just 10 square feet safely on the ground. And best of all, it's not set in place. If I need some extra space or I need to move the system to make room for something else, I just fold and push the rack wherever I want. And I don't have to ask for help. It's a one-man job. No worries, no maintenance, no headaches, and actually, no real work. So why should you fatten up the greedy stinking creeps up with $20,000 when you can get amazing results for only a fraction of that tag? A 2% fraction to be more specific. That's right. You can stick it to them easy and on a measly 10 square feet. And the results came pounding hard the very next day. I used it for my garage and outdoor lights, and it reflected directly into the bill. 51% off in the first month. That happened 2 years ago, and these 2 years have taught me that it's not just about cutting off the bill anymore. A lot's happened since then. We've been through so much these past 2 years as individuals, as a community, as a species. Humanity has been through a lot. A global pandemic, unprecedented in modern history. Its economic repercussions, freak blizzards, record colds, dark storms, and rolling power blackouts. It was hard. It still is. A lot of people have been living in fear. I know I have, and we're not out of the woods yet. But no matter what happened, no matter what nature's thrown at us, there's one thing I never had to worry about, and that's keeping my lights on at all times. I learned my lesson on that dreadful November night, and I did exactly what I should have done all those years before. I prepared. So I did so much more than just save on my bills. I knew my family would be safe inside the comfort of our home because no matter what, my simple solar switch would never let the lights go off. And they never did. That's what I like to call it, a solar switch. Because, well, it's really as easy as flipping a switch for the sun, flooding our wiring with clean green electricity each and every day, bringing us out of the dark ages every time the grid decides to take a dive. That simple solar switch provided us with comfort, safety, peace of mind, and it helped us cut the heavy chains that were crippling us month after month. So it was no surprise that after I'd slashed my power bills by 60% and secured all the backup power I needed for the next time the grid came to a grinding halt, others wanted in. My closest friends wanted to know my solar switch secrets that were saving me so much cash while giving me the peace of mind and comfort of knowing I'll never be robbed again, never be in the dark again, and never be scared for my family's life, no matter what the future holds. And the results just kept coming. I was able to walk them through the simple process of building their own foolproof power source and get ridiculously cheap energy protected from any kind of intrusion and from ever being robbed by the electric cartel again. Everyone kept telling me to share my system with the world, but I wasn't crazy about the idea. I didn't like the attention it brought to me. But I soon realized that the attention brought to me was nothing compared to the avalanche of comfort that takes over people when they realize they don't have to keep getting mauled by the greedy power company executives. So after almost a year of scrupulous testing to make sure that anyone can use it, translating everything into plain, simple English for a quick and easy read, and putting every single step on a clean-cut video that walks you through the entire process, the solar switch was born. Imagine a worry-free life and a bank account of savings. It's probably the simplest, easiest to use A to Z blueprint that anyone can follow to make their own cheap green electricity, no matter if you have no money to spend on a ridiculous off-the-shelf $20,000 system. No matter if you don't have the time or the patience to go through trial and error, no matter if you've never built anything before, not even an IKEA chair. Look, when I finished my research on solar energy, I knew that I had found a gold mine. The benefits are nothing short of amazing. You won't need the grid. In a survival scenario, when the power is down, God knows we've been through those a lot, or a nationwide blackout sends us back into the Stone Age, rendering 21st century technology obsolete, you'll be safe and sound in your own cozy home. Still enjoying a good movie with your loved ones, cuddled up on the couch eating popcorn like it's a Friday night. You won't need the space. The solar switch system needs only 5% of the surface used in conventional solar panel systems. All because of its ingenious vertical design. Many of my friends have actually placed it on balconies, so you don't even need a backyard. Using less space means that it's easier to protect from looters, and it's also easier to keep it a secret from a nosy neighbor. Plus, there's no maintenance required. You just put the system in a sunny spot a few hours a day for a full battery charge. Or you can just leave it in one place, forgetting about it for a whole year. Probably the only time you'll think about it will be once a month when the mailman swings by to give an even lighter electricity bill filled with best wishes from your power company. And the easy-to-use, no-maintenance solar switch system can provide you with another colossal advantage. It gives you crucial time to do more essential things in a crisis. While others will be busy dumpster diving for food, your miniature power plant takes care of itself. You'll have more time to protect your family, to learn a valuable skill you can barter with, or to be the Angus MacGyver of your community. More and more people are discovering the joy and peace that comes with off-grid electricity, and now you too can join in on this life-saving system. So here's my promise. If you can push play and you can watch a short video once, you have all you need to make your own personal power plant and have an endless source of cheap green electricity for anything heading our way. If spending tens of thousands of dollars on a standard solar panel system is not your idea of saving money and being prepared, if you want to be energy independent without worrying you're leaving the AC or the heater on for too long, if you've ever wanted a fun, simple way to build a virtually unlimited long-term power backup, almost on autopilot, then this is it. A disaster-proof, recession-proof, drought-proof solar system that will give you all the money-saving comfort you and your family need and deserve. It's a step-by-step, newbie-friendly program that will take you by the hand and turn the lights on in as little as 4 hours from now so you can slash your power bill almost immediately without investing thousands of dollars in overpriced, monopoly-controlled systems. But most of all, it will give you the peace of mind that comes from knowing that should anything happen from a merely broken power line to a nationwide blackout, or worse, we've seen a lot of those lately, your family won't be at the mercy of others. The Solar Switch program is jam-packed with all the knowledge you need to have super success with solar energy, not in years of trial and error, but in as little as a day. It took me almost 2 years to refine my method, sweat and literally tears to see it finally work. But in the program, I'm giving you my foolproof shortcut so you don't have to make the same rookie mistakes all over again like I did. Going solar can be super easy and almost hands-free, but only when you have the whole recipe, not just bits and pieces. And unlike emergency power banks, you won't have to wait for a crisis to enjoy your savings. Since I took up solar, I slashed my power bill by more than 50% a month. And with an increase in scale, some people actually don't pay a dime on electricity anymore. That's thousands of dollars in yearly savings that you can enjoy starting today. You'll discover the 3 essential tweaks that you can make in under 20 minutes that will maximize your power output by almost 200%, and a popular one on how to get the same results even if you don't have a backyard to begin with. You'll get simple step-by-step blueprints, but the best part is the video section of the training, because you'll see every little detail, every single step on your screen, and you can replay it as many times as you want. But you probably won't have to. This is so easy, I guarantee that all you have to do is watch the video once and you'll know how to make your solar switch system. No fancy jargon, no academic lingo or technical mumbo-jumbo that'll take an engineering degree to understand. One frequent comment that I'm getting is, "Brian, this sounds too good to be true. Will I be able to really build this even if I'm 70 and not very handy with tools?" The answer is, making a solar switch system is simple, quick, and easy. Sure, there's some cutting to do, and you might want to have someone help you when testing for the perfect tilt and angle. When I shot the video, I got lazy and paid someone $40 to give me a hand. The fact is, you don't have to build this yourself if you don't want to. But if you choose to do it, it'll be the most exciting 2 hours you've had in years. Your kids are going to love helping you build it and might even get an A+ for a small-scale version that you'll help them make for science class. Solar Switch is the solution if you want to be energy self-sufficient. It's an A to Z, step-by-step, take-you-by-the-hand blueprint and video guide for having your own personal power plant up and running by the end of the day. But even though I've tried to make the program as complete as possible, I know that there will always be more questions. That's why with the program you also get unlimited email access where you get to ask me just about everything related to the solar switch. Oh, and there's more. If you order the Solar Switch program today, you'll also get a few exclusive bonuses that will later be off the table if you decide to put this off. First, you'll get the Homestead EMP Protection Protocol. It's a special report that puts the solar switch on overdrive and turns it into a foolproof, disaster-proof, and EMP-proof off-grid power source for any impending emergency. It's more than a power plant. With this special protection system, your family will have electricity even if, God forbid, an all-out EMP or natural disaster takes out the grid for months on end, so you'll never be in the dark in a crisis situation. Second, you'll get energy stockpiling secrets. This radical report will help you store the excess power the solar switch system will be putting out. So none of that valuable power juice goes to waste. You'll find out the best methods to do so and what types of batteries to use, how to revive old ones, and how to make ones from scraps lying around your house or, in some cases, forgotten in your garage. And third, you'll get Homestead alternative energy sources. This special report lists the absolute essentials that many so-called energy enthusiasts never even consider, and you'll get it for free when you test the Solar Switch Guide. But before I tell you how you can do that, let me ask you this. How much is it worth to you to literally save up to 68% on electricity bills for good? Money that otherwise would head down that Spartan bottomless pit the power execs call their pockets. And how much is it worth it to you to know your family will stay healthy, happy, and well-fed, whatever might be heading our way? And to know they won't have to go through the agony of home invasion, freezing cold, and starvation like everyone else. If this power system helps you plug the deadly leaks in your bank account, if it helps you put food on your kids' table when the world outside is on fire, if it finally gives you the peace of mind you deserve knowing that you've done everything to keep your family alive in the coming blackout, how much would that be worth? You could try a second mortgage on a traditional solar panel system from a private contractor, aka still your power company, that would cost you anywhere between $17,000 and $43,000, and even then you'd still have to go through the legal mumbo-jumbo of connecting it to the grid. Or you could go the long way, start researching, do 2 years' worth of trial and error, and build one yourself like I did, spending thousands of dollars in the process, not to mention wasting 2 whole years on something that's already on the table here and now. The costliest of them all, though, is to do nothing. And I don't want to scare you or anything, but still the truth is most people will just sit there on their couches and watch what the corporate media shills decide to broadcast as the reality, and when the coming all-grid collapse does happen, they'll just be as surprised as they were on 9/11. How would it feel to be stuck in a severe crisis, whether it's personal finance nationwide, and to look back and know that you could have made your family's life so much easier simply by watching a video for 20 minutes? Once you absorb the Solar Switch program, the possibilities are endless because there's no energy guru out there who's willing to open the dojo and share their secrets on the way I did it. The Solar Switch program will show you how to build your own silent pocket power plant, saving hard-earned cash on those dreaded bills year in and year out, starting today, and you can put that money into something more useful. Buy your significant other something nice, take your family on a stunning vacation, or just enjoy life the way you want to. Hey, I could easily take this material, turn it into an exclusive weekend seminar, and charge $1,000 a seat. With so many rich green energy enthusiasts out there, I know it would be a no-brainer to many. But frankly, I'm a bit tired of seeing these rich guys on TV with their million-dollar setups and off-grid systems. They've already got more toys than they need. Solar Switch was born from the idea that energy independence and home safety should be something everyone can afford. Because the more self-reliant families there will be in America, the easier it will be to rebuild it to what it once was. So I'm not going to ask you to invest $1,000 in this training, even though I know it's worth at least that. And it won't cost you $500 either. Heck, it won't even cost you $247, even though my wife tells me that should be the absolute minimum I should offer this training course for because it's so valuable. Nope, I decided to do something that might sound a bit crazy. I'm going to set the price of Solar Switch at just $89. But as long as this presentation is up, I'll let you have the complete program for just $39 today. But the only way to secure your spot in the program is to click the order button now. I can't guarantee that I can keep this price for much longer, especially since we're giving unlimited email support, so don't get mad if you come here in a few days and you see that the price has gone back up. And really, the price doesn't even matter. That's because you're covered by Brian K's no questions asked money-back guarantee for 2 whole months. Here's how this works. Just say maybe to the Solar Switch program. If you ever watched a short video and followed simple instructions, then you already have all you need to know to have an endless supply of green, cheap electricity for your family. We've made this as newbie-friendly as we could. Watch the short and simple video. It takes less time than watching an episode of MASH to know how to make a solar switch system. You have to be completely thrilled with how easy this is to build and with how much you'll be saving in the first 2 months alone, or you simply send me an email in the next 60 days and I'll give you a full refund with no questions asked. It'll be hard to find a better proposition than this. And if you're still having second thoughts, simply click the shiny button below, enter your credit card details, and you'll receive the complete Solar Switch package so you can get started right away. So there you have it. In this presentation, you've seen how a small neighborhood blackout almost got my family and me killed. And how, like clockwork, every time the grid takes a dive, everyone in this country is at life-threatening risk. I've shown you how energy prices are taking a double whammy when greedy power companies have seized control of the cheapest and most reliable green power source on the planet. That's why most of the shelf solar systems are outrageously expensive, and unless you're rich, it's unlikely that you'll ever have one hanging on your roof. And I've shown you why the Solar Switch step-by-step video guide and blueprint is the best way to take towards saving on bills while being prepared for that disaster that's looming over our heads each and every day. Now, the ball is in your court, because this presentation is almost over and this website may not be up when you return. So the choice is yours. Either go ahead and close out this window, that's your right of course, and there won't be any hard feelings on my end. But just remember that later today or tomorrow or a week from now, as you're opening another bill, you don't want to be staring at the damn 3-digit number on the total line or killing those porch lights because you really can't afford to have them on all night. Aren't you going to think of this presentation and wish you had made the completely risk-free decision to try it for yourself? This is about your family, their comfort, and their safety. With all of today's technology, one single grid failure can send us all back into the dark ages. So wouldn't you trade 4 hours and a risk-free deal for the chance to live a worry-free life? It's your decision, but I think you already know what needs to be done. I made that same decision 2 years ago, but only after I almost got my family killed due to my cocky ignorance. And it took me that long to right my wrongs. Thank God Annie was too little to remember it, but I do. My wife does. And although it was a traumatizing experience, it got me here with you. I went through my ordeal so you would never have to, and with Solar Switch, you'll not only be protected at all times, but you'll be saving money day in and day out, and you won't have to wait for a disaster to get dividends from your investment. Because it's the best cheap energy source you could hope for to last you through a decade-long depression while watching cash pile up in your savings account with each second that passes by. It doesn't require maintenance, it doesn't require work, it's silent, and it doesn't require space. What it does need is an open mind. Try the program now. See how fun it is to build your own solar switch system. Experience the thrill of ripping open your first one-digit energy bill of your life. And know that if the worst does happen, you no longer have to worry about your family's safety and comfort and putting food on the table. Remember, you're getting all my hard-learned lessons in a beginner-friendly package along with unlimited access via email for life. You're getting my unique Homestead EMP Protection Protocol report for protecting your home and power supply from any disaster, EMP, or all-out blackout that might be heading our way. You'll also get a special report on energy stockpiling secrets, so you'll never waste any of that precious power juice the solar switch system will be pumping day in and out. And you'll get my special report titled Homestead Alternative Energy Sources that will show you how to tap into all the available natural energy resources Mother Nature has to offer. All this without risking a dime. This time next year, you're going to look back, congratulating yourself on making a good decision. Just imagine, you're ecstatic because you're about to pay for that beautiful cruise your wife had always dreamed about. And you're proud. Yeah, you're proud, and you have every right to be because you and your family are safe and free. You made the right decision and you seized the opportunity to be independent and protected at all times. So go ahead and click the Order Now button below. I'll be waiting for you with a special message in the members area and with another bonus that's too hot to mention here. Still around? Let me answer a few common questions I keep getting about the solar switch system. If going solar is so good, why aren't more people doing it? There are plenty of reasons for that. First, it's the price of retail solar panel systems. At $20,000 or more, not many people can afford it. Second, it's the fear factor. Most people think this is too complex to build. They're partly right because most books and courses overcomplicate it. The fact is, going solar is easy when you have the proper blueprints. How hard will this be to make? This is so simple and easy to build that you'll kick yourself for not taking up solar energy earlier. The whole thing takes 2 hours. It doesn't require strength, and the most difficult task you'll do is just a bit of cutting. That's all, and really there's no excuse for not giving it a try. In fact, if you don't want to lift a finger, you can still do this. Just pay someone $50 to watch the short video and put together the system for you. How long will this take? It'll take you a little over 30 minutes to watch the video, and that's it. Building the system takes under 2 hours if you're slow, a lot less if someone's helping you. I don't have a lot of space. Will this work for me? Not only will it work for you, but it's probably the best kind of solar array you could hope for. That's because you can make use of any space, not just a backyard, but also a balcony. And the best thing is, I designed the solar switch system so it wouldn't kill my tiny yard. That is, the whole system takes less than 10 square feet. I live in a cold state. Will this work for me? It definitely will. Solar is not about hot or cold, it's about the sun, and the coldest winter days are the sunny ones. Can I power an entire house with this? I don't suggest that you rely on any one particular source of electricity because if that source is gone, your family is exposed. That being said, the solar switch system can definitely power an entire house, but it all comes down to how much power you're actually using. The system can be scaled to give you as much power as you want, and adding new modules is easy as pie once you understand the simple principles behind how the solar switch system works. Is this really risk-free? Yes, as I said, you're covered by my 2 months, no questions asked money-back guarantee. If for any reason you want to return the program, you have 60 full days to do so. No hassles, no gimmicks, no hard feelings. That's why it's crucial that if you decide to try the solar switch, you do it fast. So why do it now? Spend 30 minutes watching a simple video for a lifetime of savings and safety. So go on, click on the Order Now button below and let the solar switch give you the peace of mind you deserve. Hey, thank you for watching this presentation. I'm Brian K.